So we're going to make a tier list, and this is going to be what I want the devs to pay attention to as far as like builds and overall class mechanics and variety for Diablo 4. So this is going to be fun as well as viability and as far as, playability. So starting off, I am going to put Rogue. Everybody knows Rogue's the best class in the game. That's going S tier. Plain and simple. Has the most build variety. You can literally put almost any combination of skills together and create a build. They should look at Rogue and apply it to more classes. The reason it's S tier and the reason I say it has that much viability is most classes either have 2 or 3 viable builds, or all those builds, class builds, have 3 to 4 mandatory skills that they have to have on their bars. So Rogue doesn't. You can literally swap out anything in Rogue and you can make a viable build. And they're, as far as balance, they're very close to each other. So top notch on that one. Next, I'd have to say Barb. And I'm going to give this one an A tier. So the reason this one's A tier is plain and simple. It's dog crap leveling. Like, it's so slow leveling. Not as bad as Druid, but it's very bad leveling. It's very slow. I mean, I wouldn't say it's very bad, but it's very slow. This is probably the closest one to Rogue as far as viable builds. The downside to all these viable builds is you have to have shouts on your bar at all times, or your class won't function. And everybody's like, yeah, well, it's Barb, it's Diablo, it's based on shouts, which, yeah, you got me on that one. But running 3 shouts is usually mandatory. You could probably get away with just 2, and that's cool. But you see, you have Hoda, you have Bleed, you have Whirlwind, you have Leap now, which is doing pretty good. You have Thorns. You have probably about a few other that I can't think of off the top of my head right now that are very good and very viable into late in game. I'm going to put Necro. I'm going to put this one on B tier. And the reason I'm going to put Necro on B tier is outside of Infinimist or the Mist Explosion build, whatever you guys want to call it, and Bone Spear, you're not really hitting super hard in game with this. Now, I know minions have gotten better. Blood is kind of okay. You can start pushing high nightmare dungeons, but you start to run into some issues of not clearing things fast enough, and it gets it's tanky, but if you're not clearing things fast enough, it gets kind of swishy. Druid, I'm going to put this one on A tier. Now, even though it has the worst leveling out of all the classes, it feels the worst. Once you get legendaries, I'm almost tempted to put it in B because it is so legendary dependent. Unlike Barb or Rogue or even Necro. No, I guess Necros are, especially for late. So yeah, I'm going to put this one in A as well. If it wasn't for the leveling, then I'd say these two would be S tier on here with Rogue. Rogue has probably the fastest leveling in the game, in my opinion. Sork is going to be a second. But Sork, I'm going to give it a C tier. And the reason I'm giving it a C tier is after leveling into late game, it's not doing very well. Outside of Blizzard, which has a very strong mechanic uh, going around the little shards that explode that can stagger Lilith and completely delete her second phase. As far as farming, eh, no, I'll give it a B with Necro. Now I'm not a super hardcore player. I'm a semi-hardcore player, so I could be wrong about a few of these things. Let me know down in the comments if I am, or what your thoughts on this tier list is. But basically, this is where I'm at with these. And as far as like beginner friendliness, this is about where I would land with people as far as like finding builds on your own. Um, except for Druid, you'd probably have to look something up, or depending on the items you get. I mean, it's still pretty good. Like the path that leads you, like if you get something for Pulverize, it's obvious what to create with that. But as far as like new player friendly, I'd say Barb is probably one of the most new player friendly outside of leveling. Leveling, I'd probably go with these two. And Rogue. Rogue is probably one of the best ones in the game. Now, for hardcore, you have to be very skilled for Rogue. I'd say these two are pretty solid choices, and then these two are pretty good runner-ups. But hope you guys enjoyed that. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, and see you next time.